We are privileged to have Ray McClleland on once again with us. He was on with us, kind enough to be on with us last week at a Chevrolet event. Ray McClleland is the co-host and lead technician of the Car Warriors television program. Airs once a week on Speed Television. Haven't had a chance to check it out. You need to do that. We're going to talk to Ray just a bit about that program and also about Full Throttle Customs today. Ray, welcome to Horsepower for an Hour and Fabulous Fords Forever.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Man, this is an incredible event, Ray. I mean, you and I together and individually go to many car events throughout the course of the year. Have you ever seen anything off the chart as this?
I haven't gotten a chance to actually see everything out there, but what I did see, there's some awesome cars out there. I can't wait to go check them all out.
I was thinking about you this morning as we were looking at a 2009 Mustang, and the guy's got a 671 blower sticking out the top, and he's developing 19 pounds of boost. And I immediately thought of you with a 27-inch tire on the back, and I said, my friend Ray McClleland would probably have a little bit to say about this particular setup. But it sure was a good-looking car.
Yeah.
Ray, take a few minutes to tell the folks out there about your new program or the second year in production. Now, we're going to have Brad up in a moment, but about this Car Warrior show that you're on.
Well, this season's actually totally different than last season. You know, it's a whole new platform. They had All-Stars last year with the 72-hour build. This year, it's it's shop versus shop from around the country. So you get to see the North battle the South, the East battle the West. And, you know, Brad and I lead these teams through in a 48-hour build.
And one of the questions that we are asked, and I mentioned to you this last week, but we have a new crowd, so I'll ask you again fresh. Is it really, honestly, actually a 48-hour build, or does it just look like it on television that it's edited together to make us feel like, or are you guys really staying up for 2 days straight to get these cars built?
We're definitely staying up for the 2 days straight. You know, when it comes down to it, I wish it was only 48 hours. Because by the time you actually meet the teams, do the build, and you know you get that extra hour for that other challenge in there, so it's a 49-hour build. Then you have your interviews. It's almost 60, 65 hours straight. It's hard to go through.
So you're actually staying up for the 60 hours plus hours to get this cars built.
There have been builds we've done that. We try to get an hour or two a night. It depends on the teams. We've had some actual real talent come in, and we've been able to sleep for 2 or 3 hours a night. And then we've had teams that have come in, need a little extra help. So, you know, we haven't been able to get that sleep like we'd like.
One of my favorite, there's so many, one of my favorite episodes was the 33 Ford. But then I also really liked the Chevy pickup truck where they cut 8 or 10 inches out of the bed. Now, before that happened, did you counsel them against that?
Yes.
And they wouldn't listen?
Not really. You know, the problem is these teams come in and they really don't know what to expect. And when they come down, they've watched every episode of last season, so they think we're going to go completely crazy with these cars. And we don't have the metal or the things that we used to because now the build's only 48 hours. And you try to tell them, we've only got 48 hours and you want to cut 10 inches out of the frame. What part of the truck or the vehicle is going to compromise because we're going to take on this battle? Or did you guys bring enough talent to make all this happen?
Yeah, I would think that would be a lofty, even at its best day, a lofty endeavor. You have something, Glenn?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear this, Car Warriors is on Speed Channel. Ray McClleland is on stage right now. I encourage you to come into the grassy area, gather around, listen in to what these guys have to say. Brad Benshaw is going to be up here shortly. These interviews are just for you. Come on up here and listen to hear what you got to say.
That's a good point. And now I want to kind of migrate or deviate from the Car Warriors program. I want to talk to you just a bit. We didn't do this last week about your Full Throttle Customs. Now, you've been obviously involved in automotive tuning, automotive repair, automotive service, all things automotive for quite some time.
Yes, since the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, so for those, because we have quite a few cars, and after you've done with this interview and you get a chance to walk around, you're going to see a lot of cars out there. As far as Full Throttle Customs are concerned, what is it that you primarily are doing at your shop?
Well, through the years, I mean, we're an East Coast-based company. We're now in the process of moving everything out here in California, up in the Ventura, Thousand Oaks areas, where we're kind of looking right now. We've done everything through the years. What we've actually decided to do is kind of narrow it down. We're really, really focused on horsepower, street horsepower. We want to take those Corvettes, those Mustangs, all the newer body style, and even the older ones, and actually with implant with some new mod motors and things like that, and bring the drivability to the streets. We want to make 1,000 horsepower on a street car.
Wow, 1,000. Because now you have your car is a Tangerine, right? You call it
Tangerine. Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about that car.
Yeah, she sits in the garage. I just don't have enough time. We're actually that car's going through a redo again. When we built the car back in late '06, it's an '07 Mustang GT. We kind of wanted to set the bar. Every time we do a SEMA project or something where we want to unveil, we kind of want to push the limits. And back then, we looked into fastest street car in America competition, and they do shows and they do racing and all this kind of thing, and it also has to drive on the street. And we thought, well, let's kind of maybe do something like that this year. And the car that took it back then was like 800 horsepower to the tires. So, well, let's shoot for 1,000. We ended up with 1243 at the tires. Twin turbo, direct port nitrous. I mean, there's a ton of fabrication in this car. It's just, and you could drive it. We got as much as 24 miles to a gallon on the highway.
24 miles to the gallon and 1,000 horsepower. 1,400 horsepower. Folks, that's incredible. Folks, we are talking to Ray McClleland, as Glenn mentioned earlier. He is the co-host. He's also lead technician of the Car Warriors. You can watch it once a week on Speed Television. Ray, I'm going to have you back just after lunch. We're getting close to lunch. I want to have Brad up and talk a bit with him. If you can stick around, will you be here through the afternoon?
Yes, I will.
Okay, well, after our lunch break, I'll have you back up.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Ray.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ray. And